mornings, weekdays from 6
on the Magic Breakfast.
Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and keep up with the latest news now.
Magic 100 feels good.
The hot stock on Magic Breakfast.
Six, it is gone off the 9 o'clock hour on this your 8th day of October 2020. It's actually Independence Eve for those of you that know what it is. Tomorrow we shall be celebrating independence, and hey, how about to the Kasiki we've had with GNL Zamba, we add on some other voice to that particular effect as we close into the big day tomorrow. With me in studio, as I earlier highlighted, is probably now people know by that particular bit of exclamation, people know who it is that I'm having in studio. Well, in studio with me right about now is a very, 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 I don't want to say significant or prominent, but of course from the two words you could pick one of those. Anyway, aspiring for National Youth Female MP for the term of office 2021 to 2026. You will allow me call her, or rather refer to her as honorable, because in the sense of aspiring, one becomes even before they actually become. I mean, the other day people were telling me to run for presidency, and everywhere I went people were saying, President Kent, President Kent, President Kent. Anyway, welcome with me, Miss Angela Kasekende.
Thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Wow. I'm actually happy. I love your smile. I'm sure it will torment so much the electorate and perhaps influence their vote.
I hope so.
Okay. Interesting. So, a happy morning to you first and foremost.
Yes, good morning, and good morning to all the listeners out there.
Okay. I'm responding on their behalf. Good morning. All right. Who is Angela Kasekende?
Angela.
Wow. It sounds like it's a big one.
It is a big one, because usually when someone asks me a question, I start to think, who is Angela Kasekende? Well, I'm a very passionate and ambitious individual. 25 years old. I'm very young. I'm passionate about change and leadership, and that's why I'm getting into politics, because I believe that to influence what's happening in the country, it's, through leadership and politics. And I have a background in entrepreneurship and innovation. Yeah. I recently did a master's in that.
At that age?
No, actually at the age of 23.
Jeez. Okay, interesting. I presume that wasn't in UG.
No, it wasn't.
At least I have something right about you.
It was out of UG.
Yeah, so you're telling us you have a background in entrepreneurship?
Yes, so I studied entrepreneurship and innovation at a master's level. Then for my bachelor's, I did business and management. So I wanted to start off general so that I know where I wanted to fit in before I specialize in innovation and entrepreneurship. So that's actually what I'm really passionate about.
Wow.
Yes, and I'm also a child of God.
Wow, that is perfect.
A child of God. I believe that I should live throughout my full potential, and also live my purpose and the reason why God put me on this earth.
Wow.
Yes.
So, you're seated somewhere probably on an afternoon of sorts, or maybe an early morning like the one we are, having right now. And eventually the dream comes your way. You want to stand as a female youth MP or something. How did it come?
It was a really long process. For the longest time, I've been living out of fear to get into leadership. Actually, I've been running away from.
And that is to say, the collective bit of leadership, not just elective leadership.
Yes, but generally all leadership. Just leadership. So that's how it started. So in primary school, there would be, you want to be a prefect, and I would start off, trying to run for prefect, and I get scared because my competitor seems to be stronger than me. So I ran away from being prefect in primary school. Same thing as secondary school, same thing happened. I got excited about, running for prefect. I got scared along the way. So when I reached university and I actually did leadership as a module, because leadership, you know, you throw yourself into the deep end and you see what happens.
Exactly.
So I remember one of my lecturers would tell me as to why I'm always quiet and being shy in class. So he actually put me into the deep end and made me the course representative for my course.
Oh, that is a responsibility many of us often, you know, took on while it's at campus.
Yes, but I always used to be the one that would take the back seat, and you know, it's all about getting into university, read my books, and then leave.
Right.
But then that's how my leadership journey started. So I became the course representative for my bachelor's level. Then I continued for master's, and I also became course representative then. I came back to Uganda, and then I did leadership program. So I'm also a fellow at the Young and Emerging Leadership Project. And I've also had like different scenarios where I've led different projects. You know, like for example,
basically where you've led.
Yes.
For simplicity.
Yes.
Okay.
So politics is new to me actually. This is a whole new.
Does that not pave a hurdle for you to go over? Because if it is a new thing, yet it's the same thing you're getting into, does it not become a bit of a hurdle? Because now in this kind of case, many might say you don't have the experience, which is not the reality, because probably you have what you would call the equivalent experience, that one you have. But now, being that you don't have the exact kind of experience in this, does that not pose a hurdle for you on this new journey that you're embarking on?
No, I don't think so. I actually believe when there's a passion and you have the will to do it, there's always a way to do it. So this journey is actually a learning process. Every day you learn something new. So politics is also to do with leadership in a way. How do you influence your people around you? How are you a visionary for them, you know, for the young people in this case?
Yes.
So it's a learning process, and I don't believe it's a hurdle. I mean, there are challenges in life. You always have to take that step forward and, try and make sure that you make the best out of it and see how you impact lives.
Okay.
And in this case, I believe it's through politics.
Wow. So, does that mean probably perhaps the people or whoever you want to oust, or for whichever office you want to feel you're not satisfied with what they're doing, or you simply feel you are the top-notch kind of person for the position, the kind of person who will help whoever they represent in that kind of capacity achieve what they are meant to achieve?
I'm not against anyone who's been in office. I believe everyone, tries their best in order to make sure that they, commit and work well in their positions. So the reason why I believe I'm the right candidate for this is also because of the issue that I would like to tackle as an aspiring National Female Youth MP, and because of my experience and knowledge, and also and skills, innovation and entrepreneurship. So I believe that I'm the candidate because I'm actually putting something unique out there and not talking about the usual things that people talk about every day.
Okay.
Yes.
So in a probable, kind of direct question, do you feel the youth have been represented duly in the past, maybe from times immemorial? Do you feel the youth have been represented duly?
Well, from what I've had, from the youth that I've met, there's some maybe who have not represented as much, and there's some that have really tried their best. So I can't say that they have not been represented at all, because there are people there that have been working to make sure that they represent the youth effectively.
Yeah.
Getting into government is not always easy, but then there are people that I know who've been working tirelessly.
Actually getting into governance.
Governance,
because not every leadership is government.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I know people that have really been trying their best to make sure that they help the youth out there.
I don't know. Many people might actually think and say, Angela is young. She says she's just in her mid-20s. Is she not targeting money? How do you distance yourself from such? Because people surely will tell you that, truth be told, there is service to fulfill, but as well the money is supposed to be coming through. So are you not looking at the money?
No, it has never been about the money for me.
Okay.
It's always been about the passion to contribute to positive change in my country,
okay.
as a young person.
So, if I may probably preempt your manifesto, what do you have in stock for the youth?
Well, my manifesto is quite unique. A lot of people usually focus on many things. If it's healthcare and then education. And
I'm
then
sure you're going to
employment.
buy people an ambulance.
No. Now, the issue I'm trying to tackle is one that all of us face, which is the employment issue.
Okay.
It's very
How are you planning?
So I plan on launching an ambitious program which will foster 1 million real and resilient jobs.
Wow.
Through reworking the current and future programs and redirecting investment to the jobs that the youth need, and then also creating viable partnerships, the government and the private sector, and also educational institutes and also vocational institutes.
I'm not downplaying you, but I'm surprised what you're telling me. I've not seen the current, breed of leadership doing so for His Excellency, who has tried to, create so many avenues for the youth having jobs. I'm actually surprised. This is a good idea. Do you really think you'll get the support for it? And how do you, where do you expect to get the support from?
Yes, I do believe I can get the support. I'm leadership by doing. I'm a leader by doing.
Yeah,
so
exemplary.
I talk less because I'd rather let my actions speak.
Speak for you.
Yes. So at the moment, yes, I'm. Every time I'm testing the idea. So for now, I'm focusing on universal vocational education, because whereby it will be accessible and free to those. It doesn't matter which educational or skilling background that they have, but then not only free vocational education, but also the quality of labor, which will be through the industry sector training the young people, but also that will need the private sector to be involved, where they invest in the young people. So the way I look at it is, if the private sector is involved in training the young people, and training them to be ready for the jobs that are out there, will reduce on the costs on them retraining other people. So it will be of value when the private sector is actually involved. So the industry sector, the oil and gas industry, and also construction, because right now we're having COVID and a lot of things have kind of stopped, but when you look at construction, we still need roads, we still need dams, we still need housing. And then, the oil and gas industry is starting off now. They're going to actually start the oil and the pipeline at the moment. So that takes about, 160,000 employees that they'll need.
Within about 200,000.
Yeah. So looking at mass employment mostly, rather than looking at the small areas. Because majority of us, the youth, don't have jobs at the moment. And with COVID, it's even made worse, because a lot of people have lost jobs, a lot of people are home and have nothing to do, are hungry, they're not able to pay their bills, they're in debt. So that's basically a summary of what I'm looking at.
So that's quite an interesting one. I'm wondering, there's been this whole bit of move to, get the youth out of whichever kind of mud they are stuck into. And by way of solving that kind of puzzle, there's been money placed into circles, money placed into groups and stuff like that. I don't know. Does that make any sense to you? Is it helping, or is it helpful anyway? Because we've actually learned that many at times the money is actually eaten or swindled. Does it look to you as a wonderful idea, or perhaps it is the same kind of angle that you want in as far as an addition to your other options to help the youth come out of poverty, leave alone the training and the skilling?
Well, giving out money, people need to remember that youth, we also have other responsibilities, like for example, paying our bills, and then if we fall sick, we will need to pay for our health bills, and then also putting food on our table. So money is usually redirected to other things that are in order to survive. So that's the issue with giving out money, because it's not mainly focused on what it's supposed to do, but then the youth, a lot of us are suffering, so we'll need the money in order to survive. So giving out of money, I'm not really for it, because usually it's redirected to other things. So I prefer when money is actually invested in particular programs, and then the youth come to those programs. They appear. So if it's leadership training, it's invested in leadership training, and then youth appear. If it's skilling of young entrepreneurs, it's invested into a program, and then youth are mobilized, and then they appear. Because there, you know that it's going to be used effectively.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, quite interesting. By the way, for those of you that are listening in and maybe perhaps would love to have a different kind of inclusion on the show, besides the avenue of Twitter, my Twitter account, which is at Tony Kent Chaze, besides the landline which you often call on, we also have a Facebook feed, a Facebook live feed, and I think Honorable will actually tell us what the page name is so we can follow and get to see what's happening that other side. What's the handle? What's the page name?
It's Kasekende Angela.
Kasekende Angela.
Yes.
Yeah, so that way you can actually follow and get a feel of studio and what exactly is happening right about now. Angela, very, very many times today we have seen people taking sides. And when I talk of taking sides, they probably belong to NRM, they probably belong to NUP. If it's not the two, it's FDC, or perhaps ANT, DP, and others. I'm actually told you're an independent.
Yes, I am.
Do you feel the independent identity is strong enough to dislodge whoever, or probably not even dislogging, but to beat whoever it will be that you will be aspiring with for this particular post?
That's an interesting question, actually. But I would like to look at it in a different way. So the requirement to get into leadership or politics is not based on a political party, but it's based on ideas and also problem solving of the issues that we face in our nation. So we can't exactly put people in a nutshell or limit them to voting for someone in a political party because they think they won't get the government's needs that they will need. So at the end of the day, when we're elected into parliament, we form the government that serves the people. So no matter if it's NRM, if it's NUP, DP, ANT, or any other political parties, or even independents, we are serving the people as a whole. And then also the issue that I tackle, which is unemployment, is non-partisan. It's also universal.
Sure.
All of us face it.
Sure.
No matter where the youth come from, whether they're from, either they're into politics or not into politics, either they're from NRM or NUP or independent, we all face the same issue of unemployment.
Wow. Quite interesting. Well, it's about 23 of the hour of 9 o'clock, and yes, on this particular eve of independence in Uganda, 8th of October 2020, we have Madame Angela, or rather Miss Angela Kasekende, who is an aspirant for the National Youth Female MP position for the year 2021, or rather for the period 2021 all the way to 2026. There's been a debate of when people come to office, they say they want to work. When they're given the opportunity to work, they say perhaps the period wasn't enough, so they need extra time. How long do you project yourself in that plenary, or probably the August House as we often know it, in case you make it there? How long do you see yourself there? 1 term, 2 terms, or perhaps forever?
It's too early to tell. I'm not even yet there.
No, but you could project yourself, because the same way we are looking at the plans you have, is the same way someone else would say, but it's too early to plan for what she wants to do, or rather to plan for whatever she has for us in future. So you never know.
I actually don't think it's too early, because I believe that I can do the campaign and also consult with other people to see how this can work, rather than getting in there and then I have to start from scratch. Of course, the first year will be creating the partnerships with the people that will be involved. But rather than me starting there, I might as well start now. It makes more sense so that I get in there and I know who I'm going to be dealing with, or who I should be able to contact, or what partners should come on board, rather than starting from scratch, and then that's kind of like a whole year wasted. So I'd rather use that first year effectively.
I have a bit of a worry for you, because of course, as you respond, you're likely to tell me, Kent, do you mean to say that everyone that is there is just like the way you want to portray it? No, it's not actually the way I'm portraying it, but I'm trying to picture, or rather to paint a picture in a different kind of dimension. I have a fear and a worry for you. You say you're a child of God, and that would mean you have a clean kind of motive, a clean conscience, and stuff like that. But this kind of the kind of game you're getting into is actually known to be a dirty game. How sure are you going to keep yourself clean from the dirtiness that involves and conceals politics?
But there are people out there with values and principles. And
Did I not tell you? You would tell me that.
So
Nice.
yes, I will argue against that. There are people with values and principles who are making it in politics.
Yeah.
So I believe there's always a way. Does not always have to be dirty. It's just to have innovative ways to get there. Really.
Someone once told me that, so Kent, you're talking about politics being a dirty game. For me, what I'm going to do, I'm getting into politics with my water and detergent. And I was like, wow. The answer was comical, but I got to understand what they meant.
Wow.
Point blank.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, I'm actually going to open the phone line so we can have a bit of an interaction with Honorable to be, Madam, or rather Miss Angela Kasekende. I hope people are not going to ask us questions like, is she married or something like that, because you might get yourselves into trouble. Just like the other boy, was it Isiko, the one who was trailing an MP? He ended up in jail and something like that. Of course, we're not going to do that to anyone, but let's stick to questions that are fundamental, questions that are pertinent, as well as questions that help build the whole bit and aspect of leadership, and more so youth leadership, and as well the female entity. I'm going to open up my phone lines. Let's talk to whoever it is online. Talk to us, caller.
Yes, person.
Yes, good morning, Sebo.
Yeah, this is AKF Flavia.
Dimoko Richard Flavia.
Yes, I have a question. First of all, let her define for me politics, and another question is
First Matthew.
chapter 2. Yeah, First Matthew chapter 2, from verse 8 to 15. Verse 12 says, verse 12 says, I do not permit a woman to give up to assume authority over a man. She must be quiet. What can she say about that statement? And they say, a good politician is a great alliance. Let her satisfy that statement. That's for the question.
Okay, she'll be getting out by Dimoko. Very, very, very controversial. Anyway, she will be getting to that. Let's talk to you as well, caller. Talk to us, caller.
Hello?
Yes, good morning. Good, Moses Kaziba, right?
Yes, is she married? You see, what you deny, you
That's true. And then your marriage and family are the basics, the building brick for political leadership somewhere, somehow.
But I don't have one, but I just want it to wish her well.
Bambi, that's great of you, Mr. Kaziba Moses.
But let me go. She's not going to be like those ones who just fix in the way. You ask what you're going to do, what is going to do, someone in a family didn't come with a manifesto. You cannot give me a family thing because you have to work
you work from within the manifesto of the party.
Yes. I will do that.
Okay, thank you so very much. Moses Kaziba is actually giving you a bit of advice and wishing you the best. 0783 064 530. Let's talk to you. Let's talk to you, callers.
Yes, good morning, Champion.
Good morning, Sebo. How are you?
I'm fine.
Sounds like Alfred Mount.
With Dr. Max Shosapek.
And Tinder. How is in Tinder this morning?
You guys cool because in the morning.
Hey. Okay. I hope you collected some water.
Yeah, but I couldn't hear. That's wrong.
Okay. So talk to Angela.
Okay, first the one like
Oh yeah, congratulations to him.
first the flag of Uganda, and we are still moving ahead. So that I think Angela has brought the raising Uganda.
Yeah.
So the youth, and I think dreams that one thing that used from North honorable today. Talk. But my question to hear from her. Because it's true, the youth are still behind, and some projects or institutes which are supposed to be saying they're not there. So, this from her point. Let her come, and my dreams, I think she's going to be not even go, she own her, not only she let her with her head.
Okay.
And some applications.
Oh, I think I actually did not get the last bit of what Alfred Mount said, but there was a bit of appreciation for you and, having tackled the aspect of jobs and jobs creation amongst the youth. Talk to us, caller.
Yes, hello, good morning, James.
Good morning, Flavia. How is Naguru?
Naguru is very fine and cool.
You're a female, and I presume you have great interest in this particular discussion.
Well, really, I'm just thanking Angela. I love the confidence in her. And I really love the self-esteem she's having for herself.
Okay.
At that age of hers, it's really brilliant, and I love it. I just wish her all the best. I pray her let her go through so that she can accomplish the promises she has made for her country, the youth of this country. I'm so happy she's in the entrepreneur. She's an entrepreneur. So the question I just want to throw to her is, since she's an entrepreneur, so why did she think it's only going to parliament or joining politics? That's the best way of helping the youth of this country or the people of this country. Because like being an entrepreneur, you can come up with a project of any organization can help you. You can maybe after your project being safe, you can talk to the UN, you can talk to the NGOs. There are so many organizations that can really back up, and they lack this kind of platform to be safe. Kind of like maybe saying that this is the organizers. The project I'm having is just to empower the young youth in this country. Maybe in agriculture section, wherever. So in business way. Why only in the parliament? That's when so many Ugandans think that they can help the youth of this country or the people of this country. Why only politics? Why only the parliament? And yet, there are so many who have gone there, they have never done anything. And these are the same manifestos being repeated year after year, but the youth are still stagnant where they are. So what are those unique styles she's going to use to call these people or to seduce them to do exactly what she has addressed to us in this parliament of ours, Magic FM, to make sure she's successful in whatever she is planning to do? Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you, Flavia. That question will be responded to a little later. Okay. What? The phone is still buzzing. It's still buzzing seriously. Let's talk to you, caller. Magic 100 FM. Good morning to you, Sebo.
It's Emma calling from Nando.
Yes, Emma. Talk to us.
Yes, now, my question is, are we all of us going to vote her? Oh, there are some 50 people who are going to vote. It's going to be a local man. Secondly, is she going to represent the whole country or is the region where she belongs?
Okay, she's going to respond to that as well.
And in politics, the question why we ask her whether she's married. Yeah, even after voting her, maybe she's married, maybe the man is in Dubai, she goes there to hide, so let her tell us whether the man is what. We want to know.
Okay, no problem. She'll keep us posted. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. She'll keep us posted. Actually, I was sarcastic when I mentioned that whole bit of not asking about her marriage status. But feel free. You've actually asked, and she'll respond. Magic 100. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Yes. Hello. Good morning.
Yes, you're talking to Nelson, and good morning to you.
Good morning, Sebo. Nelson Nelly.
Yeah. So, in fact, I'm happy for her manifesto. But I don't think they work out because many have gone there, they fail to do what they do, they are expected, so they come and say that there was no time, so they will start to inquire another one. So I like the way she talks, and I will let her to go to Proverbs 16.
Proverbs 16.
Verse 9, which says, "The man's heart plans, but the Lord directs his steps." So I pray for her. If
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, that is Nelson Nelly. Is actually giving us a bit of a prayer as he seconds you for that particular one. Talk to us, caller, Magic 100 FM.
Yes, good morning, Tony.
This is Walter Wakisoman.
Yes, I am.
It's been a while. The whole of this week you've been quiet.
I'm also sitting down in the village there on and off. But I'm back.
Okay, welcome back.
Yes, we youth of Uganda, we always have problem with this, our leaders, especially the national leaders. These people, after being voted, they need to lead the youth with the regional elder, like it is now contesting for the national MP.
Yes, National Youth MP.
And they concentrate on the certain constituency, aiming of coming back in the constituency in the forthcoming election. I don't know whether she's going to avoid that. We have witnessed very many abandoning youth and concentrating in the constituency. Him or she is going to contest in the coming election. We want to see different. We want to witness that with her. I think she will have a different idea. I wish her well.
Thank you. Okay, we have about 23 minutes to the hour of 10 o'clock. Probably, I'm thinking let's maybe take 2 more questions and then the responses will be getting underway. As of course, I will also be reading some of the messages coming via SMS. Magic 100, hello.
Good morning, TK.
Good morning, OB Director Banda. Am I right or wrong?
It's the one.
Send mobile money.
Don't worry. I want to answer that lady. How is they going to manage to fight against tribalism from Aha? Because they can see many people, they go in the past, after they started tribalism. So how is he going to manage?
Okay.
And that's only maybe my question.
Okay, thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you. She'll be responding to that. I actually feel sometimes people ask questions, and when I have a guest in the house and I know their bit of expertise, I'm like, now this is actually going to be a sumbusa for this person to chew. Good morning, Kent. Okay. Someone is actually talking about GNL. I give up. Let me listen to my comments sent to you on WhatsApp. Okay, I'll be checking out WhatsApp later. Talk to me. Probably this is the final caller, so we can see some of the text and WhatsApp messages.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sebo. How are you?
I'm good. This is Kennedy the Blue from Mutundu.
Yes, Kennedy.
Because this issue of election, if the ladies they are coming into the politics, it is good. It really shows that Uganda will go forward somewhere.
And as well, female emancipation is on the right track, perhaps.
It is on the right track now. For me, what I'm begging her, because this is come if we elected them, they just changed our motto here for God and my country. They just changed it for God and for my stomach. Now, I wish it is not in that category of those people. When you are elected, you need to do good things that you communicate and appreciate, and next election they can elect you again. I wish I personally program.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so very much. Probably that one I can even as well answer. She says she's based on passion and delivery and not on the money. Hi Tony, I'm Dale Gracious from Chireku. It's a question. Ask your guest. Okay, this is actually it was meant for Zamba, but Zamba was non-stop. Kent, good morning, my brother. I'm Charles from Namamve. I'm just asking, which new ideology is she coming with to the youth of Uganda as far as politics is concerned? I think she shared a bit of that, but probably she will re-echo. Well, okay, someone is insisting. Let's pick this one and then continue with the other question so we can have enough time to respond. Talk to us, caller.
Hello, good morning. This is from where?
Yes, Bwana Odiomo.
Yeah, now, okay. I would like to thank her for aspiring for that position.
Yes.
But she has not decided for us who is a youth, okay?
Oh, okay. Who is a youth?
Yes. Yes. I want to bring her to see that most of are being committed by youth. Okay? Now, how is she going to handle that? Because if now you go down, those who are doing pocket picking, they're used.
Pickpocketing.
Yes. You see, now, is she going to handle that? Okay? Now, first.
Yes, as you finalize, Odiomo, we probably have gotten your question, but that final bit, yes.
Yes. Now, how is she going to handle that? That's my question. Yes, and I will send you something.
Please be clear. You've sent me an opinion. People might think you've sent me mobile money.
Yeah.
Well, it says, hello, Honorable. That is Odiomo, because I'm now checking this particular one that he says he has sent. He says, hello, Honorable in studio. Even the multi-billion companies in the world have not solved unemployment. Uganda government has done its best to create jobs for not only youth, but everyone. Is it becoming a slogan for every aspiring candidate into elective office that they would be creating some jobs? I would also want to assure her that no government in the world has solved okay, this is actually how he started, and I think he rephrased it eventually. Okay, I think let me check out a few of these messages as we get along. Kicham Girochi James actually says that she speaks value. Hopefully electorates are gonna give her the mandate to lead them, that is the youth. Again, maybe let her not be bought from her good views and opinions, that is bought, not buying. And says God bless her ways and good luck on her endeavor. That is Kicham Girochi James listening in from Malaba. I do see Bex Lucy. It's a bit too much of Luganda, so it might be hard for me to do a bit of a translation on, but probably a little later as we do get along, I'll be getting back to some of these and so many others as they are coming our way. So feel free to start wherever you wish. Well, someone was asking you the relationship there is when God says a woman should not be, above a man, submission and the likes. I actually don't want to believe some of those things because whoever wrote those things was having their kind of motive. But anyway, take it on from that stage. Dimoko Richard.
Let me see. There were quite a number of questions. So, which question are we starting with?
Probably you're starting off with the aspect of submission, woman being down, a man being on top, and that whole bit of how the Bible portrays leadership and the position of a woman.
Well, I'm all about women emancipation. I believe that I'm a young, independent woman. A lot of women are being educated. A lot of women are being exposed.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of us are also trying to achieve our dreams, trying to make sure that we have a purpose in life, and not just being submissive and then missing out on our opportunities. At the end of the day, it's also a choice for the women. A choice for the women whether they want to be submissive or not. You can't exactly force a woman to be submissive if she doesn't want to.
Yeah, true.
Most especially if they're educated and have dreams and goals to achieve. So I'm all about women emancipation. There's a lot of opportunities for women out there. There are women rising in the African economy, people rising in leadership, people rising in the private sector. Women are rising everywhere. So we shouldn't put women down and just say that we have to be submissive because the Bible says that. I believe that God wants us to achieve our dreams at the end of the day. So that's basically my take on it.
So probably 2-3 people all mentioned marriage. They really want to know your status. Oh God.
Hey, Banange.
Are you so ashamed of telling the world you have a Mr. Someone, or probably you have a fear that if you told them you're single, it would look a little funny?
No, let me just make it clear, so that everyone can, let me just make it clear to everyone. I'm single, but not searching.
Okay.
Because I'm focusing, I have to remain focused on what I need to do. Being as a leader, I don't want to lose my focus at all.
All right. There's a question that came through, and that is the aspect of why you chose politics as the way to achieve that kind of goal to help the youth. Yet, probably as an expert entrepreneur, you would have used your entrepreneurship skills to do exactly that you want to do through the docket of politics?
Okay, so a lot of young entrepreneurs do face issues mostly when it comes to policy. So you need a policymaker that can understand the issues that they face.
Yeah.
So politics influences us negatively or positively, and it influences business people too.
Yeah.
So you need someone who can understand what the business people face, so that it's favorable for them as young entrepreneurs. So I believe impacting people on a larger scale and young entrepreneurs is best in politics and understanding what they go through.
Wow.
So that's my take.
That is actually best in the parliament, because they're the ones that do the policy, the
Yes,
appropriation,
exactly.
the soliciting, and which other one?
So
It's actually
it's
about
best
four.
to have someone that can understand that in parliament.
Wow.
For them.
You and I will make powerful legislators, I can see. Anyway, the aspect of who votes for you, because people probably are all saying, I think we can give her our vote. Who votes for you? Is it only the females? Is it everyone? Is it only the youth? Who votes for you? That particular position of National Female Youth MP.
Unfortunately, it's not all the youth. I would have loved it if youth had the opportunity to vote their leaders at national level, but it's through the electoral college. So it's a selected few delegates. So in my case, it's three delegates from each district. So that's the youth chairperson, the female affairs, and the secretary of finance.
The youth chairperson is
At
not
each-
limited to being female, but it's as long as that is the youth chairperson at that particular. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And then there is a few from the Uganda National Students Association. Then
Wow.
youth persons with disabilities,
Disabilities.
that form the national conference that vote for me.
Okay.
I still have my doubts on the electoral college because I feel that the representation is very small to vote. But unfortunately, that's how the current system is, so that's what I need to work with.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, well, even the other guys in the Bible had doubts on in the size or on the size of David, but apparently it's that same size that they had a doubt of, or rather cast over, that brought down a Goliath who was so big and huge. There was a bit of who are the youth? Who is the youth? Someone was asking that bit of when we say youth, what do we mean?
Okay, so in the Constitution, it's between 18 to 35. But in terms of the electoral process, it's actually 18 to 30. So whichever candidate is above 30 is not a youth.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so that's basically a summary of that, who a youth is. In the Constitution, it's different from the electoral process.
Wow. Many have turned from For God and My Country to For God and My Stomach, as Kennedy the Blues put it. But probably you could re-echo that. How are you going to avoid that? And is it not the motive you have for joining Parliament?
I think, let me just say my experience. Right now I'm actually a consultant, so I'm still working.
Okay.
So it's not like I'm going into Parliament to look for a job. It's the passion that's driving me there. I want to impact.
Do you have hope that perhaps the salary you'll get from Parliament you will dislodge to charity, to charitable organizations? Because after all, you're not interested in that money.
Yeah, serving the people. I have to invest in the country. The young people.
Should I write my account details right now?
No, not in that way. There has to be projects. Through projects and programs, I do not believe in giving out money.
Of course, I understand. That was just a pinch.
Because it's adding, it has to be in a way it adds
Value
value to
addition.
the young people.
Okay.
Because my platform, actually, I didn't say it, it's on hope, growth, and prosperity. Because I believe that the young people are the hope for this country. We are the heart and the drive, the energy
Wow.
to drive this country to development.
Okay.
And also, we need to grow and prosper together, and that's why I'm focusing on employment, because until we're employed, that's how we can solve the issue of income inequality. Because in order for us, for the country, for income inequality to be solved, we have to be in full employment. So I believe, the move, the 1 million jobs, is a step to solving that.
Okay.
I'm not saying it solves it overnight,
Yeah.
but it's a step forward, and it will take a process.
Obi Director in Banda spoke about tribalism and wondered how you'll actually fight that, because it seems to be it's a trending thing when people get that side, the tribalism element.
Yeah, so tribalism has been there for a very long time. It cannot.
I understand even in the Jesus times there was tribalism.
It cannot be solved by one person. It has to be all of us to solve that. And also one thing I want to put out there is either you're Muganda or you're Luo, it doesn't make us less Ugandan. We are all Ugandans and want to see our country develop.
True.
The more we remain segregated, the more we will remain stuck.
True
But
that.
if we can be as a unity to make sure that our country develops, it will take us a long way. But the issue of tribalism is something that us, change starts with us, the individuals. It's our choice to make sure we make it better.
Let me pick one of the questions from Walter Wakiso, who was asking about how you'll actually concentrate, on all areas, because female youth MP would mean you represent all the youth MPs, or probably even the female MP. Okay, everyone, yes, but we are now trying to look at being particularly concentrating onto issues concerning the female youth. Okay, yes, the female. It says people concentrate within constituencies and leave out others. You see, when a person comes from, let's say, Kampala Central, you're sure they'll concentrate on Kampala Central. That is if MP like Nsereko Muhammad. Now for you, you're going to be a female youth MP for the nation. How is it going to be for you? How are you going to achieve that kind of task ahead of you? Because it's a big country, by the way. Just as it is small, so is it big.
Very true. I believe in teamwork. At a national level, there's going to be regional youth MPs too. And then from youth MPs, there's also going to be the National Youth Council. There are going to be leaders from different districts. District level, sub-county level, parish level. All these are youth leaders. I can't say that I'm going to be solving all the problems alone. I'll be involving these leaders because when you reach a district level, these are the people that are going to know what's happening in their district. I cannot assume that someone in Busheni is facing the same issue as someone in Lira.
Yeah, true.
So consultation with these youth leaders from regional down to district, down to sub-county and then village level is the best way to actually work this out. Because they need to be involved. Then they're leaders for a reason. So I believe in teamwork. At a national level, I do have to consult with regional youth MPs and then scaling to the National Youth Council.
Okay.
Yes.
Now I'm looking at a scenario where perhaps it's going to be your kind of attachment versus the existing, the existing pillars. You are an independent, and there's going to be this kind of time where perhaps you probably have to lean towards any of the existing pillars. That is the known existing pillars. I mean, are you going to pull out, or probably you'll have to bias yourself towards them so as to achieve what you need to? That is achieving, a step forward, going forward.
I will remain independent.
Even if it meant us losing out on you for the next leader of the youth, 2021.
You see, that's where the people in the Electoral College have the right to vote. So they have the right to vote for a leader that is going to work for them. And that's what I'm promising them, because I'm a leader by doing. I speak less. I'd rather let my results speak for me.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to work for the youth. I'm willing to make sure that I also work with them, for them, and by them. I don't want this whole superiority, because at a national level, I want to remain myself and down to earth as I always have been. And also accountability is very important. I believe in that. So I do have people that I keep on telling that when I do get there, please, if it means knocking me on the head and tell me that, Angela, what you did was wrong, please do it. Because we need to hold our leaders accountable if we want to move forward in our country.
Wow. Very, very interesting. Odiomo highlighted something to do with the youth being so much involved in crime and, all those petty elements. How are you going to, find a solution to that? Because, of course, it's not just a responsibility for you. It's a responsibility for me, for him, for police and the authorities. But you as a legislator, we are assuming you're already there. And crime rate is still continuing amongst the youth. There are pickpockets, there are thieves, there are everything. How are you going to solve that? Or to legislate towards solving that?
We need to also think about, why do they actually do that? Why
the
do
origin
they steal,
of the problem.
Yes, why do they steal the money? It's probably because they don't have anything at home to feed their families. So they do need some kind of income that's coming in, and that's why I believe my ideology of through tackling the employment issue could reduce that. It won't happen overnight, and of course I'm not going to be doing it alone. It will be involving the government, the private sector, the educational institutions, because I believe that young people should not exactly start working right after university. They should start young. And then also the vocational institutes.
They should actually start working even before they get to graduate.
I'll give you a scenario. I started doing internships at the age of 16. And it's not that, it's the experience that we need. So those internships, those apprenticeships give young people the experience. And then also they get to see what they want to do in life. And they're not put under pressure. Because usually after university, you're probably told that this is what's going to happen, this is what you have. Then you settle for that.
Yeah.
But with this, it helps you figure out where you want to be in life.
Wow.
So that's basically it.
Quite interesting. Looks like actually all the questions that were put to us have been looked into. They've actually been looked into. But if I may actually ask you, what do you think will be the biggest of tasks ahead of this particular journey you started on? The journey to become 2021 to 2026 female youth MP.
The expectations are going to be very high. And I don't want to disappoint my voters or my supporters. So I know that the first year that there's going to be a lot of expectations, solutions, but the issue of unemployment it's a process of so it takes a while to solve. So this is a first step. So that first year, like I said, is going to be finding out the partners that could help push my agenda forward, and also involve the government and allocation of resources for youth projects. So it's mostly going to be the expectations and and being able to impact a large number of people. So that's why the first year, that's what I'm focusing on, so that I can be able to push my agenda forward effectively.
Quite interesting. Well, there's a couple of probably uploads coming your way from my Twitter account. People are actually happy to hear you're in studio, and they're hoping that you won't change. You'll probably stick to the guns as the promises are coming right about now. Well, probably just to make a mention, maybe perhaps, there is actually Upal Emmanuel. This is the gentleman that mocked someone with a photograph of joining first year at university with a metallic box, a metallic case. That is Upal Emmanuel. Jermaine Egesa, I can see Pop Sugar, Pio Eric Jonathan, Mr. Wilfred Senyange himself, DJ Tosmik. The list is quite a long one. There is actually Charlie. I also see the greatest poet, as they call themselves. A very interesting bit of input they have here as they continue applauding you and wishing you all the best. Your final remarks, Madam Angela.
Well, when someone always asks me that.
I feel it from the breath one text that perhaps something is not as easy as we thought it would be.
I would like to thank everyone for tuning in. I would like to thank all those who've asked the questions. It's good to ask questions, to leaders and see how they can solve them. What I'd like to tell the youth is not to lose hope. Not to lose hope in whatever they're doing, whatever struggles that they have, whatever they're going through. We the youth are the heart and the engine of our country. And it's time for us to take responsibility to solve the issues that we face. And change starts with us as an individual. Change starts with us as the youth. So we should come together as a united front and make a difference and contribute to positive change in the development of our country, Uganda. And also to all the voters that have been listening in, thank you so much. Yes, I do ask for your vote, but then at the same time, I would also like to listen to your concerns, what you face, so that I can see how to, help and how to solve as young leaders.
In that regard, how do they get to you their concerns? Is there probably a communication bureau that you have created?
Yes. So the number is 0789 734 827. It's also on WhatsApp.
Because perhaps maybe some people were not yet ready with pen and paper. You could give it to them one more time.
Yes.
Because sometimes people miss out on such.
So my number, which is also on WhatsApp, is 0789 734 827. So you can reach me on that number and we can have a chat, you know, as friends, putting politics aside. You know, and you can just talk to me as Angela. I'm very open, down-to-earth person.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm ready to make new friends and also discuss on
I
political
am not
issues.
going to be able to pick more phone calls. I can see the number is buzzing, but please excuse us, dear listener. You can actually follow her on Twitter. She's at Angela. Angela is double L, at Angela_Kasek. The name Kasekende is not written to the fullest. It's actually Kasek. That is at Angela_Kasek. Then, of course, on Facebook, it is Angela Kasekende.
Yes, Angela Kasekende, but the page is actually Kasekende Angela. But either way, when they search for it, they'll see.
Okay.
Yes.
So probably for whoever has missed out on our earlier bit of this particular interaction, it's going to be available to them on Facebook, and perhaps as well the link will be shared later on Twitter,
Yes.
which I'm also hoping to pick as well and have on my Twitter account.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so very much, Miss Angela Kasekende. We are hoping for the best as you probably push towards that particular ambition, becoming National Female Youth MP 2021-2026. Well, happening right now on TV is the 22nd National Prayer Breakfast, and it's coming live from State House. A little different is the case for radio, because on radio we shall be continuing with the education platform, that is the revision classes. Senior 4 is still the one that is taking the day today, with biology happening very shortly from now, physics to follow later, and mathematics a little later. But otherwise, for TV, it's unfortunate we shall not be having the revision classes. UBC TV, as of course there is a live broadcast of the 22nd National Prayer Breakfast with the theme, God Will Heal and Protect Our Land. Well, the guest speaker is Professor Yusto Kahwa, and he's a professor of physics at Makerere University. His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is definitely a part of this as well, and so you too, who wishes to follow that bit of the prayers, could follow on TV, while it's those of you that are in Form 4, Senior 4, please keep it Magic 100 FM. I'll be catching you tomorrow, but all the same, we can as well say Happy Independence to you. I don't mind, bringing you back to the microphone, Madam Angela. It's Independence tomorrow. Any particular message for the youth? Because yes, the remarks came, the closing remarks came, but there could be a different message, Independence message for the youth.
Yes, so my message to the youth is still on hope, growth, and prosperity. I always keep that consistent. We should not lose hope in ourselves. We should continue fighting for what we want our country to be. When I mean fight, I don't mean violence, because I do not believe in that. And we should continue striving for ambitions, and we should continue working as a unity in order to make sure that we can solve our problems together. We have the potential, and we have the energy and willingness to work for our country and see it develop. So to hope, growth, and prosperity, and happy Independence Day to all the people of Uganda, and most especially the youth of Uganda. Thank you so much for listening.
Wow. Messages are continuing to flow. Flavia wishes you the best of luck. She's already called you her sister.
Thank you.
There's so many messages. Someone says you should get married fast, because by the end of the term, you will be 31.
Which is not bad.
There's a dentist listening in and says they love what Angela has been saying. Perhaps maybe the men should also work their way to present their manifestos for probable choice making. Anyway,
please let me focus on what I'm supposed to do.
Thank you so much for coming through, and we wish you the best in your endeavors.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Let me catch you guys tomorrow. That is Freestyle Friday, as we shall as well be celebrating independence in Uganda.